Hey guys, it's Marta. Welcome to September garden. I don't know when that happened. Today I will take you for a short walk through my garden and I will tell you what I've already done in the garden in the last days and what I'm planning for September. There are a lot of jobs to be done. I hope you will join me. Let's begin. Do I start with something good or something bad? How do you usually choose? You choose bad news first or the good news first? I will show you something that happened just 2 days ago on my lawn. It is terrible. I will start with the bad news. Let's go. I'll show you what happened. So in the last 2 days, my lawn has been destroyed by a mole, by a gopher. I have no idea what that is, but it's very, very angry and has a lot of energy. Like 4 meters long of damage to the lawn. If you have any advice on how to deal with that, please write in the comments. I will be using your advice this time. Okay, if we're here, we'll talk about the lawn maintenance in September. September is the month that I stop fertilizing my lawn with nitrogen-based fertilizers. I will switch to autumn fertilizers. They have less nitrogen in them and they are better for the lawn. It will be better prepared for the winter. And I'm fertilizing with those autumn fertilizers until the end of October. I even last year used the fertilizer on November 1st and we had the best looking lawn through all winter. It was green, it didn't go yellow, so that was the best year for our lawn. I think some of the success we can attribute also to the automatic mowers that we have in the garden. As they are mowing all the time, they are leaving the scraps, the tiny parts of the grass, and they are on the ground and they are giving some of the nitrogen, some of the food to the lawn, and the lawn has been very dense thanks to that, and the color is very good. And this year I've been fertilizing less frequently. I've done that every 7 weeks, and normally without them I've been doing that every 4 to 5 weeks. My favorite job to do with my lawn in September and through the year is trimming the edges of my lawn. I think that thanks to the neat edge of the lawn, all the garden looks better. It just looks so good because of the nice line. You don't have those, I call them mustache of the lawn in Polish. I think it's a different name in English, but they are always creeping into the borders, and when you cut a straight line, suddenly the garden looks more put together, more clean. And I really like to do that every few weeks depending on how it looks like. I use the edge trimmer, either electric one, or I'm using a tool that is similar. It's like half moon shaped, and I use it with just stepping on it. I've been showing you how to do that in the previous video. I will link that above. Okay, as I'm standing here, you will be able to see the border that I've been working on in the past video. Last video, I think that was the last video. I've shown you how I trim my lavender, and it didn't look super good. Now it's looking beautiful. Also the salvias that I've pruned back really hard. They've grown back and they are blooming again. And also you can see my Verbena bonariensis. This is one of my favorite. It can be a perennial, it can be an annual in some places when it's very cold. In our country, in previous years, it was the annual, and now it is a perennial because we've been having some milder winters and it started overwintering. So we have the older plants that overwintered, but this is also a plant that sows like crazy if you have a perfect spot for it. This spot that is pretty dry, is in full sun, there is a lot of compost. It loves sitting here. I have like thousands, I would even say more than thousands. It's like a carpet of Verbena bonariensis, and I use them throughout my garden because this is a very tall plant, doesn't need staking. It is perfect for the pollinators. You can see all of the bees and butterflies are always on it, and it looks beautiful in autumn when you have a lot of yellow, a lot of reds, but sometimes you need those cooler colors so they still keep you in summer. And Verbena bonariensis paired with, for example, white rose, this is Chopin, gives you this cool feeling, and I really love her in the garden. What about my roses? Do I still prune them in September? Yes, I do. I still deadhead my roses, and I still prune them even pretty hard, especially if I have a rose that has a stem that is super long, like 2 meters long. When you have that in winter and the rose is really, really big and you will get strong winds, then you will have the rocking of the plant, and the rocking of the stems might cause some kind of root disturbance, and this will not be good for your plant, especially if it is a young plant. So I'm trying always to trim them in September, because in October I'm trying to leave them alone so they can prepare for winter. But in September I still have a lot of rose blooms, and I'm trimming them as I go from the beginning till the end, so I still get a flash of blooms. But in October I will back off and I will stop pruning, but still I will be collecting all of the dead leaves, the leaves that have some sickness on them, that have black spot. I will be collecting that from the bushes and from below the bushes, and I will throw that away. The hygiene is super important. If I clean as much as I can before the winter, I think they will be healthier next year. I know they will be healthier next year, because I know that when I do that, they perform just better next year. Okay, we've deadheaded and pruned the roses. What else can you deadhead or prune to get more blooms in September? I will show you my PHLOX paniculata. It looks so good. Before we go, I wanted to show you a beautiful combo of plants. Here we have Heliotrope Gaura and Geranium Rosanne. I haven't done to them anything since May, and I had a problem with my heliotropes. They were having problems with leaves. They had some lack of water, and I said, oh my God, let's let them be. They will just die. And I left them alone. And when I came back from my holidays, they were super happy, full of flowers. I think sometimes when you say to a plant, okay, you do you. If you die, I don't care, then they start blooming like crazy. So loving this combo, pink, purple and gentle purple with white inside of the flowers of Geranium Rosanne. Okay, let's see the PHLOX. Okay, so this is PHLOX paniculata David. This PHLOX last year looked terrible. It was unhappy, had few blooms, but it was a new addition. This year, they seem super happy, as you can see. When I came back from my holidays, I was like, what is this? What happened here? Beautiful blooms. They have very gentle scent, but I really like it. But after they stop blooming, I will be deadheading them or pruning them back a bit, like this few leaves back, and just after the leaf, like half centimeters above the leaf, I will just prune, and then I can expect another bloom. And this is what I like doing with my perennials. I like to prune my salvias, as you've seen, my catmint, my geraniums, my phlox. And the more I cut, the more they regrow and they just bloom for me again. And this is beautiful in the autumn garden, because in spring, in summer, it's easy to get a lot of blooms. But in the fall, this is the thing I've been struggling for 2 years now. I'm trying to add more and more plants that will give me the color in October, even in November, because I want the blooms from March until November. So the season is really prolonged. If we're here is my dahlia patch. I have a raised bed that I have tulips in the spring and dahlias in summer and fall. I've been collecting a lot of them for the house. I've been cutting them, and I have like my whole fireplace filled with PHLX, labyrinth. I have autostrill, penhill watermelon, Jawi Winnie that you can see here. They are my favorite types of dahlias, and I just cut them for the house. But if you're growing your dahlias and you want them to bloom more and more, remember to deadhead the flowers. For cutting cut only the fresh flowers. You can see at the back of the dahlia, they need to have firm petals. If the petals are wrinkling and shriveling, you know that this is the time that the flower is almost spent. It can still stay in the garden, but it won't be good for the cutting it. In the garden, if you have a dahlia that is blooming and you want to prolong the flowering period, cut the flowers when they are spent, follow the stem, cut it out, compost it, and then the plant will know, you will give it a signal to bloom more and more. Okay, what about sowing seeds? I will be sowing a lot of my plants because those plants that grew in my cut flower garden or in the borders have seeds now. They are perfect, they are light brown, dry, and you can, this is the freshest seed you have, and the freshest seed will give you most plants and they will be very, very healthy. I love using my own seeds, especially from Orlaia, Nigella. I don't buy them anymore. I just sprinkle them in the borders when I have clean patch of, for me it's compost. I will just lightly rake it, then I will sprinkle the seeds, I will water them, and I will just wait for some rain to come, and they will pop up before in the fall, and they will overwinter beautifully. I sow this way my Orlaia, my Nigella, my Amimagus, sometimes larkspur, depends on the winter, but I try to do that because when those plants are sown in the fall or in summer, they will have stronger root systems. And when a plant has a stronger root system, you will get bigger blooms, better blooms, the plant will be healthier. And for those hardy annuals, I know that it's a good idea to be sown right now. Are you planning your pots for the fall? I'm still enjoying my summer pots. They are looking really, really good. But I'm kind of thinking about the fall ones, the headers in pots. I really like them. But with supertunias, my supertunias are really, really healthy this year and they are looking really, really good. So what I'm doing, I am pruning them just a bit if the top is without the flowers. So I will prune them lightly. If I have a plant, which I don't, but if I had a plant that was sick because it had some pests, I would just prune it really hard. Water it with fertilizer and wait for it to regrow. They sometimes a hard trim for a supertunia that was not that happy will do it. Okay guys, please let me know in the comments, how was your season? Do you have it also as I do? And the older I get, the faster the year goes. Let me know in the comments. And please let me know, what are you planning in your pots for the fall? What are your best compositions? What are your secrets for the perfect fall pot? Let me know in the comments. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.